Let's also get you an exclusive interview. And we spoke to Mr. K.V. Thomas of Ministry of Consumer Affairs on various whole host of issues there. But let's get in some questions for you right now. And the first one that we asked him is about forming a new committee. Remember, they said that in the previous week that they would form a committee to look into matters. Mr. Thomas, why not give FMC more powers than forming these kind of committees for various products?
No, on certain items like spices, recently there have been high volatility. So there have been suggestions from various quarters that we have to intervene. But the basic stand of our ministry is that as FMC is an independent agency, as a regulatory authority, they have to intervene at the appropriate manner. We just give them guidance. Now, during my discussion with the Consumer Affairs Secretary, there has been a suggestion that for important items in spices, there can be some advisory committees which will advise the government as well as FMC. But these proposals are on the preliminary level. So once the Consumer Affairs Secretary gives him a report on this, then we will take an appropriate decision at the appropriate time.
Mr. Thomas, also for any commodity to move, it majorly is the issue of demand and supply. Then why put so many curbs and only into the futures markets?
So basically, the entire trade depends on supply and demand. And this supply and demand decides the market. Very recently, we had a problem of Gaur seed and Gaur gum highly fluctuating. Then the future trade was stopped, banned. But still the prices are going up. This shows that the high volatility of many of the items is due to this difference in supply and demand position. But still the FMC is seriously looking into what are the problems, how the entire trade and the farmers can be helped. So this is what FMC is being doing, and our ministry is also have a watch on the entire situation.
Mr. Thomas, also coming out just with an example, the guar gum and the seed futures trading has been halted. But if you look at the prices, the guar gum futures were halted at around 80,000 rupees. The export prices have crossed 1 lakh. Even 1,30,000 is the quote coming in from exporters. So would you say that the commodities are much more volatile in the physical markets? And as I pointed earlier, the futures market are not the only ones to blame for it.
So when the prices of the Gaur seed and Gaur gum went very high, there was a high volatility. So for every quarter they said it is better to ban the future trade. So that decision has been taken by FMC. But still, as you said, the prices are going up because demand is so high. So we cannot blame future trade for the high volatility of many items. There are other factors which also have to be looked into it.
One final question, Mr. Thomas, and markets really are awaiting the next guar contract to launch, as that has been the case. FMC has been telling its members that they would come out with the next launch. When do you see that happening?
See, as I said, the entire activity is being monitored by FMC. Our Department Secretary of Consumer Affairs is also monitoring the entire activity. So whenever actions are needed, basically it is FMC which has to intervene. Government will give only guidance. So what we do, we guide the FMC on many matters, but actual decisions and implementation is with the FMC only because it is the regulatory body.
All right, Mr. Thomas, we'll let you go at that. That's an exclusive to ET Now, and the Ministry of Consumer Affairs saying that they are only preparing the guidelines. It is the FMC who would take the actions and also implement them. And as he said, all those actions, of course, would be coming in from the Forward Markets Commission.